Cheers.
Cheers.
To our Halloween episode that we finally are doing.
It's happening.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What the fuck?
Hi, welcome to episode 11.
11.
This one goes to
Halloween.
11.
This is our second double digit.
Spinal Tap. Nobody?
No one.
No. Oh, god damn it. You need to watch Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap.
Hi.
It's a mockumentary.
Oh,
So
okay.
this
It's an
is,
amp that goes to 10. and it goes to
This is
11.
our Halloween episode. I know in episode 9 we said it's going to be next episode, but I can't do math. So, hey, happy
Math is
Halloween!
hard.
It's the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
Oh. So we also just took a couple shots.
Hey, my parents aren't listening to this.
Hi, Mel.
On our phones of each
Magic
other.
Mel. Oh, I feel like we should call him out every single episode.
Mel.
Magic Mel.
Magic Mel.
Although I want to say really quickly that my mom called me out on the last phone call I had with her.
Is her
She
name
literally-
Barbara? I don't know. I
No,
just
it's
envisioned-
Vivian.
Vivian.
Because of course it is.
Oh, Vivian.
As she comes down the stairs with her flowy gown. She literally yelled at me and she's like, "Why are you telling everybody about the mace under my bed?"
It's your choice, Vivian.
I was like,
It's
because
your
it was
choice.
there. And she was like, yeah, but the swords? And I'm like, yeah, because I went for the swords instead of the mace for the ghost that I thought I heard.
Hello,
She's
Vivian.
like, that makes sense.
All your secrets are being exposed on these episodes.
Oh, Vivian.
She was a world history teacher.
You know, I envision your mom being played by Goldie Hawn in a movie. For some reason, the name Vivian triggers some sort of like large lip, blue eyed, like large hair situation.
My
Am I
mother,
off?
my mother
Fish
is
with
a
hair?
stunner. I'll give her that. My mother is a stunner, but she's a ginger.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I have slightly reddish hair. Yeah, she's a
am-
ginger.
I don't think I even know
Also, we
you
envision her
anymore.
as Mommy Dearest coming down the stairs in like a full gown while she hits us with wire hangers. No, she has to make an entrance.
So we have Vivian, we have Reba.
Reba is something else. Yeah, no,
Reba,
Vivian
Reba.
is a goddamn star.
Vivian.
Yeah, it was a redhead, but not really a lot of freckles. She's Hungarian and German. She's a stunner,
Oh,
Oh.
Vivian.
Very
absolute
nice.
stunner.
Vivian, I feel like your daughter's putting you up for like a dating website.
No. My dad will never. He'll kill a bitch.
So anyway, this is the Halloween
She'll
episode.
kill a bitch. Everybody
Happy-
will kill a bitch in my family.
Okay.
Like I'm in the midst of killing a bitch right now.
We're currently killing a bitch.
So happy Halloween, everybody. And no, it's this week.
Yay.
We hope you guys have a happy Halloween week. I think all here love Halloween.
Favorite time of year.
It's so great.
Love.
Horror movies are my favorite thing in the world.
Costumery, and I have 2 Gandalf wigs.
And
Let's
I just
do
love
it.
Wear
Reese's
'em at
peanut butter
once.
cups.
Reese's peanut butter. Let's
Yeah.
talk about favorite candies.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Is that really? That's the final
Interesting.
answer.
Yeah, if I could take a bath in any candy, it'd be Reese's peanut butter cups.
Would you bathe in it cold or warm?
Warm, I would like the melted peanut butter all over my body.
Ooh.
Also, hello, sirens.
What's up, sirens? Do your job.
My favorite candy is probably Twix. I love that crunch.
Okay.
Do you prefer the left side or the right side of Twix?
Oh, fuck
So what
you.
is that about?
You know, it's just favoritism.
What if
It's
I
a
could just put
marketing
the whole
play.
thing in my
We
mouth?
know this shit. It's straight marketing.
We need to do a taste test sometime of like Twix left and right side and see if you can figure it
It
out.
needs to be large enough so that I can taste what the left side would taste differently than the
This is
right
part
side.
of tactile time.
I want to get the largest Twix ever and just shove it in my mouth.
Okay, no.
Okay.
So when you go full size Twix, okay. So mine is Kit Kat. But when you go
Kit Kat?
Kit Kat. So when you
Oh.
go bigger, you mess with the proportions, and that actually has a lot to do with the candy. And
One time, I made a Kit Kat that was like 3 feet, 2.5, 3 feet long.
You made
what
one?
was the chocolate density though? Because too much chocolate, it ruins the Kit Kat.
Listen, it was very hard to make a very long Kit Kat.
It's too much.
So
Kit Kat.
I don't know if we got it right, but we all ate it anyway.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm
But were
impressed.
people eating it, being like, "Oh, this is so good."
And they turn around and
we
turn
know
over their
that
shoulder.
she's so
bathed
good.
in
There's a
it.
pile of
We know
chocolate.
that she bathed in it, and she's like, "Would you like some of my wafer?"
With skin flakes.
With what?
That's so sick. Skin flakes.
Oh,
when you
gross.
bathe with. Anyway, it's Halloween, guys.
It's still Halloween.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Halloween episode. So much so that I think we may have taken too many shots before we recorded this episode.
Not a thing.
I don't think there's such thing as too much.
Thank you.
But your cheeks
And
are very red.
Half
I'm
of
Asian.
our
What do you
shots-
expect from me?
Half of our shots were pickle-backs, so it's not real
Yeah,
shots.
That's true.
Those aren't real shots.
Okay,
No.
Wait, friends, question. What's the best costume that you have ever worn to a party? Halloween or not?
Like best as in
That you loved personally.
Oh God! It depends on your commitment. There was a year where I was a banana, and that my closest friend was a cop and decided to be a banana cop. So we just ran with
does
that.
that mean?
It means everything you think it means. She was just on this warpath to arrest me just the entire night. It was beautiful. Then there was a night where I was a Freudian slip before it became like a bigger thing.
Wait, how did you dress up for that?
You literally wear a slip with just Freudian sayings.
Oh.
I know. It was not as exciting as you thought. My future really exciting costume for when I move to the suburbs will be when I finally do the Atreyu Falcor costume of putting my dog into a front carrier to be Falcor because he's a blonde dachshund and I'm Atreyu just giving candy to kids. And and just completely repressing the whole horse in the mud part of the movie because I still can't watch the movie
But
because
for those
of
of
that
you who
scene.
don't know, that's from an old movie called Neverending Story.
Correct.
Yes.
Is from Neverending Story. Also, I want to expand on a business idea I had this past
You
week.
just bring it to us.
idea. Get ready.
Business idea. So there's a website called Does the Doggy Die?
What?
So most people don't care when people die in movies because
Yeah.
we're
Oh,
heartless.
got
But
you.
we care about the humans, right? Most people, one, don't know about Does the Doggy Die, so we should probably buy that. Two, we should go off and make it into a bigger situation of like, not only does the doggy not die, or if it does, it's from natural causes. I want Twitter updates. I want full-on updates of how this dog is doing, how this animal is doing. I want to know how every single horse in Braveheart is currently.
Live feed.
Live feed.
Yes.
Who is handling it? What are their names? How are they feeling?
What
And
temperature
if
they are.
anything happened to them, it's because it was natural causes. It's not because of a war scene in Braveheart. And it's very important to me to know because most of us can still not watch the first 20 minutes of John Wick.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, wait. So back onto the costume question.
My
What
rant is over.
costumes?
What about you, Patrish?
What were my costumes that I liked? I remember when I was 5 and in kindergarten, I was a crayon.
Were you the Jean-colored crayon that you named?
No, but I was like a
Aw.
light sky blue. So my mom took like, you know, those poster boards you can buy at like the Walgreens that you.
Why did you say it like that?
We've all gone to
Walgreens?
Walgreens. I was there like 2 days ago.
You know that store that sells pharmaceutical needs?
The Walgreens.
Walgreens.
So she bought one of those and just took and like pasted light blue fabric on the outside and then wrapped it around me and then made me a little like almost like tinfoil hat kind of thing, like Tin Man hat kind of thing, but it was put blue on that as well, and then drew the Crayolas on the outside. And
That's cute.
the coolest thing was like all the kindergartners in my school would parade around the school and be like, look at us, you know, every year. And that year everyone was like, look at that crayon, that's so cool. And I was like,
Aw.
shooting little
Good
guns at them.
job,
And
I
like,
totally
Mom.
forgot about kid costumes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
There's one year, there's a picture of me somewhere in my parents' house in the hallway of me being one of those dancing monkeys with the like symbols, the like
Phantom of the Opera.
the I can't do the symbol
yeah,
things.
yeah.
But it's like
yeah.
I'm wearing the costume. It's like a jazz outfit, and they gave me the symbols, and they're just like, "Dance, monkey, dance."
And then they
That
made you
was
wear that
kindergarten
every
class.
single day.
Ashley, what were your
That's a good
costumes?
one.
So Halloween was a little scary in San Francisco as a kid, so we didn't really celebrate Halloween that much. Like, if we did, we'd collect candy, then my parents would throw it away and give us candy, because when I was in 5th grade, a kid was given a cookie that was pumped with crack, and he died.
Yep.
So not super
What?
fun. Yeah, not super fun
People
because
are
people
terrible.
are assholes. But one of my favorite costumes, not for Halloween, but just in general, is, okay, I'm going to say it, and there's going to be judgment faces, and I'm going to accept it. I was in a sorority, okay? Owned it. And the theme of the sorority party was, like, celebrities or, like, TV shows or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So every fucking girl was dressed up in some, like, sexy alias, like, costume. I, however, was studying to write both of my theses, and I was like, shit, I don't have a ton of time. So my best costume was Flavor Flav. I-
Did you put a
perfect.
clock around your
I
neck?
found a clock. I found a Viking hat, and there was a really hot guy at the party.
Mhm.
And he came up to me, and he wore just a puffy jacket. And he's like, "I'm a burnt marshmallow," and I was like, "I don't care, because you're talking to me, sweetheart." And all the girls are like, "Oh my gosh, how are you talking to him?" I was like, "Because I'm just dressed up as a dude," and it was so comfortable. I wore like shorts and jogging pants.
Accurate.
costume.
There is the crowd you attract because you are slutty of whatever you
Yeah.
are that year, and then there's the crowd you attract because you're a hilarious version of whatever you should
True.
be.
Truth.
And I will always invite the people who talk to me because I'm the hilarious version of something
Yes.
over the slutty version.
100%. Like the slutty version, like you know what you're gonna attract. You know what you're inviting already.
I go to an nth degree to dress up like phallic symbols, such as a banana.
What?
Because I think it's funny. I want to be covered head to toe. I don't like skin showing. The Freudian slip was before the banana.
Okay.
Like, I want to make sure everybody knows I'm covered from head to toe, and this requires a discussion.
What do you think the reaction would be if you just dressed up like a vagina?
What?
I think that might be no. So I don't think that's out of the question because Big Mouth is a super big deal show
I
right
need
now.
to watch that.
It's the best thing in the world.
Okay. I'm gonna
And
watch it.
one of the, it's about puberty, so there is an actual character called the vagina, and all she does is make fun of you for getting it wrong. And it's perfect. And so being a vagina now, but being her, I think would be super encouraged.
Who plays that role? Is it Maya Rudolph?
It's not Maya Rudolph
fucking
because she's the
love her.
hormone monster.
I want to show you guys a
hormone
picture,
monster.
and you can feel free to put this on Instagram.
Yes.
But of me as a clown. Are
Let
you
me
ready
see.
for it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm terrified. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Get that fucking thing away from me, you haunted demon. Get that away from me. You bitch.
horrifying. You can't even see skin color.
That definitely belongs in the Annabelle case. What the fuck is that?
We'll share this on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, God. Fucking
And
damn
you know what's
it.
a scary thing? Your eyes aren't open, so it's
It's watching me everywhere I turn.
My mom used to make my costumes for me, so this is like a red and
Is
yellow.
that your mom?
Yeah.
She has such curly hair.
Yes, so do I in this
Beautiful
picture.
hair.
But I have a purple curly haired wig on.
Oh, oh my gosh. There's
If you feel
so
the need to be
much.
haunted, please click on the photo.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna post this up. I'm only tearing from one eye right now.
Get that fucking demon away from me.
I will
Fucking
text
book,
this to
right?
you real quick so you can put it on
Get
Insta.
outta here.
But please cut out my mother. Poor
I'll cut out
soul.
your mother. Yeah, I just envision your mirror closet with just like Patricia standing
It's just
in the
Patricia
back.
behind me. Or in front of me.
Or it's another version of you waving back at you, but you're not waving your hand.
So that's been my ultimate nightmares. This is why I don't like mirrors in my room.
Oh man.
Or that I have to face it. It's not a feng shui bullshit. It's I just need to be able to, my feet and head need to be near it.
Fair.
All right, I've got this picture ready, so it's gonna go on Instagram.
Oh god.
But it's definitely me. But it looks like I've been like grabbing my face on the floor or something because part of my makeup's
What?
missing.
I don't think so.
Is this the
I
night
think it's
before
perfect.
or night after or morning after photo?
Morning-
Yeah, definitely kept it on overnight in
No,
bed.
that's actually a common costume that people do. It's the morning after. They put on their makeup and then they literally just take their hand and
Really?
smear their face as if it's the next morning because it's funny.
I love the day
Interesting.
after walk. You see
The-
people
exactly.
in costumes and you're like, oh, walk a shame.
So you do that 12 hours before. It's that costume, just purposeful.
So
It's a good costume.
happy Halloween.
Hey.
We have 3 Halloween / scary /
Weird.
weird.
The weird, the
Weird.
abnormal,
Oh, I hate
the
this.
superstitious.
Patricia just sent me the photo and I'm so upset. I'm so upset.
It's on Stephanie's
It's
watch.
on
Just
my
staring
watch
at it.
haunting me. Oh god.
I just want to say, you know what I want to do with you at work? I want to print out Patricia's face and just like
It's just
Easter
gonna be in
egg it
all of my
throughout.
drawers.
Yes,
God damn it.
Get ready, all of our colleagues.
In my
like-
coconut in the
like
morning.
I find out what conference room you're in, and I just post
Fuck,
the back of
every
the
time.
door.
It's a pretty creepy photo. Just check out our Instagram account. WTFAQ.podcast.
Also,
It'll be up there.
please tell us your best costumes, or rather, send us pictures of your best costumes.
We'll post.
We will definitely post it unless it's like a nip slip Janet Jackson situation.
Or if we can get, if it's something that's gonna ruin us from running for president, we're not going to show.
Like a dick pic. No.
No dick
Stop
pics.
that. I'm gonna spam
No
your
dick pics.
shit.
Don't alter the coloring of your face of any
I
which
did
way or
it.
No
Yeah.
blackface.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
it.
want to say it that forward, but yes. Come on. Come
So
on.
let's
now.
dive into our questions.
Oh,
We have
yes.
really good questions,
Stephanie,
and I
you're the
really want to discuss
first.
them.
This question
first
comes to us
question.
from Vivian.
Vivian.
Yeah, my mother.
The mother on the staircase.
So she had an interesting question, being that she was a world history teacher, and things could be very interesting, both past, present, future. So her question to us is a would you rather?
Oh, bring it.
A would you rather have the ability to time travel but die at your normal rate?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have cancers, you have shit, whatever it is, unfortunately, you will still pass at said age. Or never be able to time travel. You are stuck in whatever age you are stuck in. But you're immortal. So basically, it's almost like a time travel into the future because you can't die.
So
but also,
nothing
the
can kill
world
you?
has not much left for us anyway. So, what are you going to do?
But nothing can kill you, though.
Yeah, you're
nothing can kill
immortal.
you.
So, like, you could take, like, a knife through the heart, and you would just be like, pull it
Why
up.
would you
Whatever.
Kind
stick
of.
a knife
I mean-
in your heart?
I mean,
Why would
if
do
you
that?
chose
Well, I
the
know
time
you're the one waiting to stick a knife in my heart, so I'm just
Christ.
waiting.
if you chose the time travel route and you went backwards in time and you got knifed in the heart, yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
But if you chose the non-time travel route and you just went 100 years in advance and the world
Okay.
crumbles and you're still alive because fuck, what else?
I'm ready for my
That's
answer.
I'm
your
ready
life.
to. You
Ashley,
can
go
go first.
You go first.
I
Yes.
want to die at a normal rate. And the reason why is because my next door neighbor, when I was younger, I would go over to her house
And she time traveled?
and she was a fucking time traveler.
I knew it.
And I was like, what the fuck? Moving on. She would tell me, she was like 70 at the time, which, when you're younger, you don't really have a sense of age. Like, old just seems old.
Yeah.
Like, whether you're 50, 60, 70, whatever.
20.
Exactly. 30 seems old.
Yeah.
So she told me at 70 that, like, she would be going to funerals and her friends would be dying. That's really fucking terrible. And I feel like if you're immortal, you'd see that forever. And I just don't know if I could stomach the strength to see all the people that I made friends with just fucking die around me. I know that's super dark.
Super
that's-
dark.
But
That's true.
that's
I
what
mean, this is
Halloween
the Halloween
is.
episode. But like,
Wah, wah, wah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
But yeah, so that's my answer. I want to die at a normal rate. Even if I could see the future, like, it's not worth it for me to see, for example, if I decide to have kids, or I know I want to have kids, but to see my child die, that'd be fucking terrible. Like, I could not handle that. So,
Did you ever see Interstellar?
no.
Don't.
Okay. Thanks for the recommendation of not seeing.
My
Best music
answer,
video you've ever seen.
final answer, done.
Cool.
Patricia.
I would want to live forever and be immortal.
Why?
Interesting.
Because I've kind of been at the point now where, like, I don't want to find a love interest. I don't think that...
True?
But if you stay at
Is
this and you're immortal, like it could happen in 20 years from now, and you're
could.
good. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, too. But also, I think that you become not numb to people dying, but you'll become okay with celebrating their life after a while, right? And also, you phase in and out of people's lives so much. So if you have friends and they start acting older and, like, move on beyond your point of life, yeah, you find new friends. And we do that consistently now without really thinking about it.
You know,
So you can just always be, like, I like my age I am now, and I have good friends at a good place in their life right now that I enjoy hanging out with them.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Can I alter your question a little bit?
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
If you were to be immortal at a specific age that you could choose, what age would you
I mean, you
choose to
don't
be immortal?
age.
But I mean, like, you would be immortal at age 13?
Oh, I
Immortal
think-
at age
no.
18?
I would not want to be immortal at any of my
I
teenage
think
years.
we're choosing this like mid to late 30s situation.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify. Okay, fair.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, if even the age I am now, I'd be okay with it.
But I mean, that kind of. Oh, I don't want.
Say it.
Okay, it's gonna get. Oh, it's gonna
Say
be
it.
so fucking heavy.
Bring it.
It's kind of the conversation of if you believe in a heaven or a hell, and I don't want to get into whether or not you do, but when you die, do you go in as that age at that state, or do you go in at your prime?
Ooh,
Oh, yeah,
I
I've
love
thought about that before.
question.
Because I think about, when I go to church or whatever, and people are like, oh yeah, but you're gonna see your grandmother when you get to heaven. I'm like, yeah, but is she gonna be like a 12-year-old grandmother, or is she gonna be like the 70-year-old grandmother that you remember?
I never even thought about that.
Right. I mean, I'll mention once in every podcast, as a Jew, we don't believe in heaven or hell. This is kind of it.
So what happens after you die?
You make the best of this.
Interesting. I wasn't raised religiously, so I don't. I mean, I like to think that there's a heaven for the idea that, like, you know, it's sort of a nice idea. I like that. But I don't know.
We can't get too deep into this.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Patricia, what do you think?
About
like heaven, hell?
Quickly, though, because then I'm going to answer, because we're not going to go into a deep religious conversation on the Halloween episode.
I would like to imagine there would be heaven or hell, but I don't think there is. Logically.
Do you think there's a purgatory?
I mean, we're living in it now.
Oh my god, we believe the same things.
Really?
Yes.
So we're in purgatory right now?
I think this is purgatory.
Damn. We're fucked.
Which is how I'm going to answer my question.
Okay, bring it.
I would rather time travel and die.
Where would you
normally.
like to time travel, and what makes this the right answer?
I think I would have to do my research. The first time in my life that I'd ever actually study history. And I would time travel to see certain things, certain very important events, certain beginnings of wars, what caused those wars, like, I don't know, just inconsistency of people's thoughts.
Can I ask you a weird question
Yes,
that has to do with, since every episode we bring up that you're Jewish? Would you want to see the Holocaust?
I guess, okay, so this kind of deepens the question of, if you go back, do you just go back as yourself, just kind of a fly against the wall? Do you go back as yourself in this certain stage? Like, if I went back to the Holocaust, all of a sudden am I somebody who has the armband?
Yes.
Like, I don't know what that means. If I could easily snap myself out of it and avoid death, I think it'd be interesting to see what that actually was and why that was.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of my poor 23andMe
So have you guys...
results.
Can you tell them? I don't know.
Oh
if
yeah,
you've
according to
told them.
23andMe, I'm 99.1% Ashkenazi Jew, which is just a further thing of like Judaism is a culture, a religion, a race. It's all encompassing, man. I love it.
So for those of you listening, if you're single and Jewish and you have a Jewish mother, she is the fucking dream. Your babies are basically 100% Jewish.
Except if you want children, because I don't want kids.
Well, you know.
Anyway, but a lot of this like time travel in the past is kind of an agreement of I don't know what the future holds, and I don't know if I want to risk to see that because the past has already been kind of like
True.
not ideal. So,
but if you can't die, if you're immortal, though, it'd be kind of fun to be like, yeah, let's see how this thing wraps up.
until what? What's the nth degree though? That where it never ends.
Eventually, if you can't die, you just like float around in space, like, ooh, look at that comet.
So you're
Ooh.
basically like Death Becomes Her, the
Yeah.
movie. You
Yeah.
basically
What a
become
great movie.
great. Have you watched it?
No.
Yo,
Come on,
this
Goldie
is part
Hawn,
of our...
Meryl Streep. They
This
take
movie
an
is called-
elixir and Bruce Willis.
yes.
They take an
It's
elixir
called
where
Death
they
Becomes
can't,
Her?
yeah.
Yes,
Death Becomes Her. Where they
classic
can't
movie
die. They take this elixir to stay the same age that they're at, but then
at their prime.
at their prime. Well, no, it's at what they're at, but then they kind of
No, Goldie Hawn.
euthanized.
Yeah, they get youth. Yeah, their
that's a
youth
weird
comes
word.
back. Yeah, not euthanization, but becoming youthful.
They become
Euthanized.
the prettier version of what they are currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
and then they
movie.
can't die, but they do decompose without the elixir.
Yes.
Oh, that's
It's
interesting.
incredible.
So I have a
Come out
question for you guys.
mid-90s?
Mid-90s,
Yeah.
So, speaking of time travel, have you ever heard of Project Pegasus,
No.
Stephanie?
Horses scare me.
Horses scare me too. We're more alike than I've ever known.
I've always
What?
known this.
I feel so left out.
I've always
Horses seem
known.
fine to me. Why are they scary?
I just don't like putting my life in the control of an animal who just does not want me on their back.
I'd take this back to what we were talking about before with Never Ending Story. The
But
size
hold
and the
on.
blood.
I want to tell you guys about Project Pegasus. So Project Pegasus is a theory or a story. There's a guy who's a lawyer, I believe, or an attorney up in Seattle, who claims that he was tested for time travel, like America's time travel inventions back in the 70s. And he was like the first kid that ever time traveled from the U.S.
What?
Yeah, look it up. It's crazy. Project Pegasus, and he swears also that Barack Obama was part of the kids that were testing the time travel.
What?
Yeah. There's a
He's
lot to it.
mastermind.
I love conspiracy theories.
It's crazy. Project
I
Pegasus.
love it.
Look it up. It'll
Okay.
blow your mind.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
many
want-
things that he says, though, have been like confirmed by other people that he can't just like what he's saying is not just
Is he
stuff
like,
that,
was it
he made up.
Nosferatu?
I don't know.
Is that the one I'm thinking? No, that's another horror movie. No, who's in Anastasia?
I don't know.
Shit, you would. No, you
Das
don't.
Vidanya
don't
Anya,
know
that guy?
this.
That's what done the.
Oh
Rasputin?
my God. Rasputin! The
Yeah.
one who can claim that he could see the future.
Yeah,
Nosferatu. God damn it, I'm
I
the
don't
worst.
know.
Yeah. But look up, it'll be a good thing for you. Look up Project Pegasus.
Okay.
It will blow your mind. And if that's the case, we've been able to time travel since like the 70s.
I mean, if there was such a thing as time travel, we would be able to time travel this entire fucking time.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing that blows my mind is that it was invented by the group that invented the internet. So you know how
Allure?
like was it like DERPA or whatever? DARPA.
Yeah, DARPA.
So they invented the internet. DERPA. That's me. I'm DERPA. But the group who invented the internet, it's the same group who invented time travel. Apparently, it's like Tesla involved. Like Tesla was the one who like invented this idea. And then
I'm not surprised.
he died and his papers disappeared. And that's when it started happening. Like, there's a whole story
I
behind it.
definitely
It's
feel like
amazing.
an Elon Musk,
Yes.
Richard Branson cohort of the minds turned itself into time travel.
Are
Possibly.
they from the future?
Yes.
Are they from the past?
and the
Oh.
future?
Fuck. Elon Musk is like, he's an intense dude. Did you guys read that New York Times article that he...
No.
It was a long time ago, and basically he's just like under super amounts of stress, especially with like Tesla. They thought about taking it back from being a public company, and you're just like, dude, he's one of those people where I'm like, you have so many ideas that like you're not short of them. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what to do with all of your
That
ideas.
also is a sign of an aneurysm.
What?
So he's just like constantly in it.
He's
In an
constantly about to have his brain explode on himself. He
mean,
needs to get that checked.
Calm the fuck down. I mean, that's why he smokes a lot of weed, isn't that?
Yes.
I mean, slow it down.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
He's going to sue us for making that up if it's not true.
I mean,
I
Elon, if
mean-
you're listening to this, kudos to you.
Yeah, no, we totally respect your
Yeah.
mind, but
Hey,
also please
Elon.
don't die.
Hey, Elon, you can join our podcast whenever you want.
We live near you, actually, so
Yeah, I
let's do
can
this.
see through your window right now. You look really well dressed, and I'm loving those booty shorts.
Booty.
You got that nice booty. I'm just kidding. I don't know him at all.
Oh, really? That's
I
crazy.
don't know him at all.
Okay.
Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's go to
Next
Because we
question
have a
number
lot to
two.
talk about. So my question
For
is
the Halloween episode.
Halloween episode.
Monster Mash.
My question, we touched on it a little while ago, but I think we should talk about it. Do we believe that people are clairvoyant? So, for those of you who don't know what clairvoyance is, it's like, can you read into the future? Can you sense things that will happen? Opening it up to the floor, thoughts, feelings,
I have
Taste?
experiences in my life where I've been the clairvoyant.
exampple.
Okay, so I don't think I've told this on this podcast before, but I've told it many times in
Do
my
you
past.
have another podcast?
Oh yeah, I've got like 10.
God damn it.
Just kidding. This is my favorite and only.
Thanks.
But so when I was about 16 years old, I went to go visit the college that I ended up going to, but I went with my friend's family to visit this college. So we were going to go check it out. It's in Kansas City. And to parallel with this, I have dreams that have like maybe 3 or 4 different settings. And I always go back to these settings and scenes in my dreams. So I know my way around these areas really well. I know the names of the stores. I know my friends in these cities. I had theories when I was a kid, like, oh, these are like different worlds that I live in, whatever. But I know these settings very well. But there's one setting I would go to that was like this little shopping, like, boardwalk of stores, but it was in a city, so it didn't make sense that it was a boardwalk. However, it was a little boardwalk with stores. At the end of this little boardwalk was a bookstore called Rainy Day Books. And I loved going into Rainy Day Books and spending my time there in my dreams, okay? So anyway, real life again. I'm going to this college in Kansas City with my friend's family. We were driving down there, and then one time we're like, let's go check out downtown Kansas City. So on our way there, we went by this little boardwalk of shops. Guess what the name of the store was at the end of the boardwalk?
Rainy Day Books.
Rainy Day Books.
Oh,
and
shit.
I had like a double take on it, and I looked at it and I was thinking, I've been there before, but in my dreams.
That's fucking
But
weird.
that's not all. So we went back to the school to do more of like, hey, welcome to the school, here's what we're all about kind of thing. We were leaving to go back home to Nebraska where I grew up and where I lived at the time. The people that I was riding with in the car and driving, and they were saying things like, oh, I don't know which freeway we take out of here. And I go, oh, It's up ahead. You'll see a JCPenney outlet store. You're going to take a right. That's the ramp you get on. And then you take a left after that. And they go, what? And I said, yes, that is where to go. They got on there and did that. And it's exactly the way to get home. And they're like, how did you know that? Because I had never been down there before in my life. And I was like, I just know that's the way to do it. I've done it before. And they're like, no, you haven't. And I was like, yes. And I know this. But that was one of the first experiences I've ever had with that happening where I knew both those things.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I believe it. How about you, Steph?
Clairvoyancy. This is where we do not agree.
What?
I don't believe in it.
I don't believe in it either.
So my mother, Vivian's gonna be so mad. I don't believe in it at all. I don't believe in tarot readings. I don't believe in palm readings. I don't believe in fortunes of any kind. I think it's all a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
What?
All of it.
I agree
But my
with you.
mother would claim that she is a clairvoyant and that me by proxy is a clairvoyant and that my grandmother is a clairvoyant, and I would love to be proven wrong. I would love that.
Question.
I just don't.
How do you
believe in it.
explain Patricia's situation then?
I think
I
you had a
don't know.
50-50 shot.
But she had never been there. She had these dreams as a child. Like,
But I
how do
still
you
go back to these
explain
things.
that?
I don't believe it's real though, and I don't know how to explain this, and I don't know how to explain that I was able to tell this to somebody else with clear direction on how to get to where we
That's
were going.
weird. I
Maybe it was
don't know.
intuition.
Yeah,
Maybe it was
my
like-
brother would joke, my oldest brother would joke that like he wouldn't go places, but he knew how to get there because he used the Force. But like it wasn't a Star Wars thing. It was just a joke of like, we need to get to this general direction. I have a feeling this will get me there. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fake it enough to where we were supposed to turn here
That makes sense.
and
I've
get there to
also-
where we need to get.
I've
to.
also been extremely great with directions my whole life, and that could be it.
But the rainy day store, there's no fucking
I
way.
guarantee you there are thousands of bookstores called
What?
Rainy Day Store. That's what you do when it's a rainy
Rainy
day.
day
You
books.
read
No, rainy day
inside.
books.
It was just really weird because it was also like on a boardwalk. But when I looked at it, I had like a double take. I looked at it again and I was like, no, can't be.
But there's a whole different conversation about what do we think dreams mean.
Yeah. Or do our memories serve what we think they are serving versus what they really are?
Or are we reincarnated? I think we got to take that topic another time.
That's
we got to take
much
that. I'm
bigger
going to ask that
topic.
at another episode.
But I definitely think I had experiences like that. Those are my two biggest and most obvious ones that I've ever had.
Okay. I don't know if I vehemently disagree with y'all, but I do believe
We
that
had both sides. How do you disagree with this?
because she
both?
doesn't believe in clairvoyance, but
Oh,
she
you do believe in clairvoyance. Got it.
I don't know if I believe in clairvoyant folks or if I believe that some people can read situations differently than others. I believe in like spirits and stuff like that. I think
Spirits
I
and
do.
energies are a very different thing. When I'm talking
Are
about
they?
clairvoyance, yeah, like if somebody's like my roommate loves to do tarot card readings, and
Okay.
I love her to do tarot card readings because I don't think they're going to tell my future. I think they're going to tell my present. I think they're going to be like, oh, what I'm actually feeling is this.
Oh, she
and
does
I
them
needed
for you.
Yeah, and I needed
Oh.
you to bring it out of me that I am uncertain about this. I am feeling confident about this, and I need somebody else to tell me in such a way that this is what I am feeling. I don't think it's telling of my future. I think it's telling of my present and how I'm going to respond.
Okay,
Interesting.
so maybe this is a spirits thing then. Maybe the question should be reframed. But I'll give it a weird example of a time with my parents. We were traveling to Asia to visit my family.
Mhm.
And we had a layover flight. And my parents were like, originally we were supposed to fly out. And then they decided to delay the flight and take a later flight. And we had met a man. We had stopped over in Hong Kong. And we had met this man who was on the same flight who was flying to the next destination. And so my parents were like in Hong Kong, and that was I think our like first time going, and they were enjoying it so much they're like, let's just take a later flight, we won't get charged, blah blah blah. Cool. That flight going to the next destination crashed. Everyone died.
What?
Everyone died.
So you
And
could have been on that plane.
our whole family could have been on that flight.
Holy.
And my parents, actually, my mom didn't tell us this until much later on, like almost close to adults. But that's fucking crazy to me. And my
Yeah.
question is I'm not saying my mother or my father is clairvoyant, but were they able to read a weird situation? Like, is that just coincidence?
I
Alternate
would
timelines.
hate to say, and like this is going to go to a really deep, fucking dark place, and I don't want to get there. But what does that mean for everybody else on that flight?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying, you know what
That's
I mean?
why it's hard for me to believe in.
But the probability
that.
of us just so happen to want to stay in Hong Kong for a few more hours just because?
You were meant to be here to be on this podcast.
Oh, I am not a fan of meant to be.
I don't believe in that either.
I don't either.
I'm just
However,
saying, that's an example. That's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
I don't want to think that my fortune is a deficit to somebody else's dysfortune.
Did I tell you guys how I almost died a couple days ago?
What?
So this story is on Monday. I was taking an Uber ride home from work, and by us there's this train track, right by where we are, our new office is, and there's a light that allows you to cross the train track to like turn the corner or go straight on that
every
street.
day.
Yeah. So this lady who was my Uber driver was waiting for the light to turn green. It turned green, but shortly, maybe like 2 seconds after it turned green, the lights on the train track went off, and so did the bars on the train track started coming down. And she was halfway on one track, and she goes, "Oh, should I go through? Should I go through?"
Oh.
And I'm like, "There's a train right there." And she goes, "Should I go through? The light's turning red again." I'm
Get
like,
the fuck off
"Yes,
the track.
Go, go, go.
Get the fuck
I, for
out
a
of
moment,
there.
had like an out of body experience because I saw the train coming. She like just barely missed it, and I was like, the train was honking at us. I was like, this is the scariest Uber ride I've ever been on.
Oh my gosh.
And that's all. So I
Yikes.
felt like I almost died one day.
I don't know, y'all. I think thinking about spirits and stuff like that freaks me. I don't, so I'm going to bring up a friend. She
Okay.
lives in London. I won't say her full name, but I'll call her Aggie.
Aggie.
You know who you are.
Hello, Aggie.
Hey, Aggie, how are you doing today?
We were in London. We were walking around, and we see this weird ass building by the retail shops. It's like in the downtown.
Uh-huh.
I was there for work, and I asked her, I'm like, "What's that building?" There was like a weird official building, like right between these two retail shops.
Was it a Harry Potter building?
No, but I told her, I was like, "What's that building?" And she's like, "I don't know." And she's like, "You want to see?" And I said, "No, don't go close to it."
What?
Yeah. I was like, "I feel really weird. Do not go towards that building."
You told her not to go to a building because you felt weird about it.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And we kept on walking. She's like, "I see that building every day." And she looked it up, and it was a huge Scientology building with
Oh.
locked doors. Like,
Were there beavers inside? Beavers.
if you have no idea what we're talking about, listen to episode 9.
Yes.
But she was like, we got into this conversation of, can you feel these quote unquote spirits?
Yeah.
Is it a function of being open to the idea that you can feel these different energies? Do these things exist? And for her, she told me, she was like, I think for me, it's sort of like, I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to hear from you, spirits. And for me, I'm like, I'm open to believing that.
I just think your gut has a lot of brain power inside of it. Meaning, I think you see things that will trigger something in your mind that tells you this is not okay. This is not okay. And so because that, you feel like an energy around something because you want to associate that with something that's dangerous
Okay.
to you.
So let me run this situation to you.
Okay.
So when I was in college, I went to study abroad in Italy.
Uh-huh.
And for the most part, it was very expensive to like call friends and, because I was abroad and I like had a flip phone, back in those days.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So one day I had this really random dream that my friend Eric told me. He said to me, he was like, in my dream, he was like, "I have loved you since freshman year."
In your dream, he told you
In
this?
my dream, I had not spoken to him for months, but he said to me, "I've loved you since freshman year." And I was
Okay.
like, what a random dream, right? I've not spoken to this dude in a long time. He started like dating one of my friends, like so weird. And then I got back. We didn't even talk regularly. So this is very bizarre. That summer, I got a random call from him, and it was, I don't know if he was drunk or not, but he called me and he said that. He's like, "I've been in love with you since freshman year."
But I think you knew that. You
Did
could see it.
I don't know.
I think you knew.
As
it.
aloof as you can be, there are hints and cues that your body gives off. Maybe endorphins even. There's a science behind why I feel like you knew that.
Agreed.
I don't know. I was really confused by it. And we talked later and he never pretended the conversation never happened.
But you can feel it though. I think your body knows if someone is attracted to you or wants to be friends with you. Like
Yeah.
even like from somebody, like if you are attracted to the male sex, I believe that your body can tell when like a male is into you. Or if you just want to be friends with like a female sex, you would just feel like when you like, women are really good, I believe, at making friends quickly because
Yeah.
I think women are maybe more in tune to, I don't know, this could be a gender thing. I don't know, but I feel like women are more in tune to understanding when people are wanting to be closer to them, wanting to be more of their friend or something else. Even if you don't want to admit it, if you don't want to address it, the knowledge is still there.
Yeah. Maybe. Anyhow.
Are you guys ready for question 3?
Yeah,
Question
let's do
the third.
question 3.
Woohoo! Good, because I get to ask it to you. Okay, this is it. You ready? Okay.
Ready.
This is it.
Have you ever, or anyone around you or close to you, have you ever seen a ghost or something that's unexplained?
Yes.
Yes.
Me too.
Okay, Steph, you go.
Okay, I don't believe in ghosts. I'm going to start off
You
by saying I
don't?
don't. No.
I don't either, but I have stories.
My favorite, I've mentioned so many times, I love horror movies and all of that madness, especially paranormal, because I don't believe in it. And if I'm wrong, I'm fucked. And something about that is exciting. That being said, there are things that have happened that I can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
In my house growing up, it was a new construction house. It was not over ancient burial ground. Like, there's nothing to explain this
That you know of.
that I know of. One experience I had was I was home alone with my dog, who was also a dachshund, Dexter.
Aww.
Dexter is my favorite thing of all time. He was wonderful. I lived in Southern California, and in California in general, being that it's, timely with the 30th anniversary of the Loma Prieta, whatever, earthquakes happen. So
Yes.
all the cabinets in my kitchen were earthquake proof. So you had to push them in to be released to open.
Interesting.
So I was home alone watching Dexter, watching a movie, and the cabinets started pushing open
On their own?
on their own.
Holy cow, I'd pee my pants.
There was
I
no
just
earthquake
did.
that I had looked up. There was nothing that could be said. I did not feel scared at any moment.
Yeah.
Did it feel friendly? Like, was it a
I
friendly
just
spirit?
yelled at it because I was watching a movie, and I literally yelled, "Can you shut up? I'm watching a movie." And it stopped.
But like on
Oh.
these ghost channels or ghost stories, often if you tell them to stop, they tend to
They
stop.
stop. I brought this up to my mother, who is a big believer in clairvoyance, who
Yeah.
is a big believer of spirituality and ghosts and all of that. She claims it was her father, and her father was being friendly, and he's just living in the house because all of his like remnants and World War II, not his like urn, because we're Jewish, there's no cremation. But like
Wait,
his
Jewish people don't get
No, we don't
cremated?
believe in
Wait, you're
cremation.
Jewish?
Oh, I didn't.
What?
Wait, who are you? What? Who are you?
Yeah, so we have like his briefcases, passports, and like some really like wonderful like memorabilia of him. And so she believes that she's seen him several times in the house. So I've mentioned this
Really?
once,
Oh.
and my mom's like, "Oh, it's your grandfather," and I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll tell him to like shut the fuck up when I'm watching a movie." Like, God damn it, I'm just watching this goddamn.
Come on, Grandpa.
Grampy.
Damn it, Grandpa. So I've heard that. I've also was an RA in the dorms when I was in San Francisco State, and there was this kind of rumblings of ghosts and the runner and blah blah blah.
What's
The
the
runner?
runner?
I've heard the runner, so that's the thing. So I was on duty for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Oh, weird.
like
Nobody else
assign
wanted
the
to be
Jewish
on
girl.
I
duty
bet
on
she'd watch the
Christmas.
campus while we're gone.
Yeah, exactly. So
Celebrating
we had like
Christ.
one or two people still in the dorms, which is why somebody had to be on duty.
Uh-huh.
I had no problems being on duty for Christmas.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna do? So everybody was gone, and there was this like rumblings of the runner, who is like a haunting of the dorms, where you hear something running up and down the dorms.
Oh my god.
I heard the runner.
Did you look outside your room?
I did. Nothing.
Did you see anything move?
Nothing.
I would pee my pants again.
I
didn't pee
again.
my
It's
pants
been
at
one-
all.
It's been one constant stream of pee since
Just
we started
constant
talking.
peeing. No, I heard nothing. I just assumed it was a pipe situation. Same thing with the cabinets in my house. I just assumed it was probably a mini earthquake that I just
So
wasn't
just
paying attention
legit
to.
sounded like
I mean,
a
we've
guy
had
running
like
outside.
4 mini earthquakes in the last 2 days, and I've only felt one of.
Oh,
Like,
I felt that.
I only felt
I
the
mean-
one of them, and like earthquakes happen all the time. That's why everything is like retrograded and earthquake proofed. And I just,
Yeah.
I assume there's a scientific explanation to all of it. And the
That
runner,
is
the
so
runner
creepy,
was
though.
probably pipes.
That
That's
okay.
so creepy.
But that does not explain. But because I watch so many horror movies, I'm still scared of mirrors.
Oh yes.
Fair.
because there's no
Mirrors-
science behind that other than
Mirrors
the
are my weakness of
Ugh,
fear.
seriously.
Even in the mornings while I'm getting ready, there's another podcast to listen to about like ghosts that I listen to in the morning, which is probably not good because I live by myself. But
better than at night.
in my bathroom there are
True.
2 mirrors, and I'm so afraid sometimes I'll get out of the shower and I'm like, I can't look up. I'm just gonna dry my hair while looking
There is
down.
a common fear. I don't remember the name of it, but when you wash your face in the mirror and
Yeah.
looking up and assuming something's behind you,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
an actual. There's a name
fear.
to that. Yeah.
Oh, I have that 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
same.
believe in
not
ghosts.
to that like yes. I mean, that's why I can't look at a mirror when I'm sleeping. Something behind me or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't
But yeah,
believe in
it's-
ghosts, but mirrors scare me the fuck out.
We should
Oh,
watch
yeah.
Oculus one day.
Oh my god, nope.
Yeah, no, we're gonna watch it.
No.
Yeah, it's
We
gonna happen.
We need
No.
to build the list of movies that we need to
Oculus.
watch. Well,
It's a
we
good
have
one.
to watch Sliding Doors too. She hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Mirror scared me.
We're gonna
the
watch
fuck out.
Oculus.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your experiences with ghosts, Ashley?
So, I'm not like friends with this person anymore, but I'll just do a short form of her name. So when you all know that I played soccer for a long time.
Yep.
And
Wait, what was your position in soccer?
sweeper girl, come on.
That was my position.
That's why we get along.
Yeah,
I
we
was
yell at
goalie
people a lot.
We yell at people a lot. We defend the family.
And I can run fast.
Yeah.
Probably not as much as I used to be able to.
Well, none of us can.
Yeah, you know.
And so our coach brought us to Mexico to play in a tournament. And as part of that, we actually did a homestay, and I had never done a homestay before. We actually had chaperones, but the chaperones stayed in the hotel, like the parents did, and then we just did homestays because it was a lot cheaper. So we did a homestay, and this girl, Allie, and myself stayed with this family. And we couldn't sleep all night. You know, it's the first time we were told, like, you can't drink water from the tap.
Yep.
You know, all this stuff.
You have
So
all
we
these fears.
exactly. So we ate like cereal. And I remember we couldn't sleep. So we stayed up and we watched Hey Arnold in Spanish.
Oh, so scary.
well.
Hola, Arnold.
Hola, Arnold, the football head. And I remember all of a sudden we heard a click at the door and we're like, what? So we ran to the bed and we shared a bed. It was like a twin size bed. I still remember. It was a tiny ass bed. And, we're laying there. And you know, when you have your eyes open, but they're closed so you can see what's happening. And this, I swear to God, both of us saw it. This like 3 or 4 foot figure came dressed head to toe in white, came into our room, looked around, and then left.
What?
Yep.
Was it like see-through or was it solid?
I think it was a figure. It was like a human. It was a person just dressed all in white, though. It was just like all white.
Like their
And-
skin too? Everything was just white?
Just white. It wasn't like a sheet or anything. It was just a person who was just all white. And they just sort of like floated. They didn't walk. They sort of like floated by. And I
Whoa.
remember the next day we talked to the family and we're like, do you have like a son or a daughter? And they're like, no, we don't. And we're like, we thought we saw someone here. Like, what was the family before? Well, the family before was that their child drowned in the pool.
What?
Yeah. So the family before in that house had a young child who had died in the pool.
Was the figure you saw tall or short?
It was a child size.
Oh, shit.
And like Allie and myself to this day, even though I don't talk to her, 100% agree that we both saw this figure. 100%. And actually, it was so freaky to us that we actually moved to a different family to stay with.
Oh my
Hand to
goodness.
God. I don't even believe in God or a God figure. We saw that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty damn sure it was the dead child who died in the pool.
Oh,
Making
So-
sure you were
my
okay,
goodness.
though, which
Huh?
is sweet. It was making sure you were okay. Which
I
is
don't know
sweet.
what it was doing. I mean, there's
Maybe it was
clearly
looking for
unfinished
its-
business.
it's
There's
looking for its family.
unfinished
Making
business in
sure
that home.
that everybody felt safe in that house.
It was
Don't
scary.
go near the pool.
It was real scary though. They were like, "No, we don't have a young child, but there was a young child who died in the pool."
Holy cow.
So you know what? I believe in spirits. That's freaky as fuck.
Listen, so I don't believe in spirits, but I just, like I said before in another episode, like I think that there's a logical explanation for everything that happens.
So what was the logical explanation in this case?
Maybe it was their neighbor kid coming in to look for someone to play with. Maybe
Dreams.
he heard
Dressed
there were
all
two
in
hot girls
white?
next door.
I think dreams.
How did
are
both of us see the
insane.
same person?
I think
What do you
maybe
think
'cause
mob
you-
mentality is? Convincing of others.
You convince each other, like you saw something. Oh yeah, did you see that kid in the white? Yeah, I saw him. Remember? Yeah, would you see? Yeah. Something you
But
put your
also-
story together.
I
don't
would
know
like
about
to
that.
state that just because I don't believe in it doesn't mean I can't be convinced that I'm incorrect.
Exactly. It doesn't mean that I can't be freaking afraid of it from happening.
Well, I'm not
Dude.
even just afraid. Like, I would love to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
I think my state of mind is very bleak and sad and non-fulfilling, and that I would love to be proven wrong.
I'm gonna say it. Even if there isn't science, I believe in spirits. I really do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Like, what are spirits though to you?
I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I think there's something with what you said of like how you read your gut, but I also think that they're like energies that you can read, and it's dependent on how open you are to reading them.
Okay. So I have a theory that is similar with that. But my theory is that the history of our existence remains in the environment where we once were.
Where we once were. So assuming that we were already there before?
Yeah. So thinking about, like, you know how if you were to scratch your head a lot and leave skin flakes, again, skin flakes, whatever, sorry. But in an
really
area,
into the skin
part
flakes
of you
today.
still exists in that area, right? Part of your being and your livelihood and whatever gives us our life core or energy, we leave a little bit behind wherever we go. And so places where we tend to have been for a long time, our energy kind of builds up there somehow. And there may be a little bit of us left afterwards. Thinking of that along with like a parallel universe, right? So we may be C-137, but C-137B is happening in the same place. We just can't experience it right now. So that's another theory, is that could be like pushed over into our existence.
Question. So you think there's another reality happening right now that we are not aware of?
Multiple timelines, yes.
So we're
The
just
darkest
living in a...
timeline.
Wait, say that again?
We're in the darkest timeline. It's a Community
Interest-
reference.
I've never
Watch it if you haven't
Okay.
watched it. It's really incredible.
So right now, the three of us are around this table recording a podcast.
Yeah.
However, there's potential that there's another reality
Existing here right now.
existing here.
Several
Several
You believe in
realities.
that?
alternative.
Yes.
No, I don't.
You believe in that, though.
I believe in alternative timelines and
I
realities.
think it could be.
'Cause
I'm
of the
not
string
completely
theory.
against it.
Because of string theory, I believe that. However, I think that there was one reality where your family got on that plane in Hong Kong.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I want to ask a very simplistic question. We
Yeah.
can totally cut this. My roommate is a God-fearing woman.
Yeah.
She asks me if I pray, if I am questioning something, if I'm asking guidance of something, what am I asking it to? Like, who am I asking?
Uh-huh.
What's your
Because
answer?
she believes in,
Yeah.
whatever. Mother Earth. To
I
be
agree.
honest.
I agree.
I think
Is it
this
like
bitch
an-
is alive, and this bitch will cut.
It is
loose.
energy, basically.
It is an energy. This bitch
Yeah.
is alive.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm praying, it's because, oh my god, I'm in a plane, and like, turbulence is not just turbulence; it's fucking nature
See, but I think
causing
like
the shit.
if I pray or think to myself, I think it's like me trying to calm myself down. You've got control
oh,
of the
interesting.
situation.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
And I
asking
don't
Mother
wanna-
Nature to not.
I'm not
kill
praying
me.
to myself like I'm a god. I'm praying to myself. I'm praying. It's more of like a yoga kind of a trance, right? Like, you've got this. You can handle the situation. You can be bigger than this. These pilots have done so much worse or dealt with harder situations than this. So it's more about bringing the reality of the situation back to myself.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe in a god. However, I do believe that there's a higher thing. I don't know what I would call it.
I'd agree with you.
Mother Nature, whatever it is.
I agree with
I
you there.
believe in there's a higher being,
Something.
thing, something that, I don't know, it like impacts us. And it finds a way to find equilibrium. It really does. But then you also get into the idea of like, does that mean that we have a fate? Does that mean that there's something else controlling us?
it's
Whole
getting
other
too far.
questions here.
It's getting way too far.
Let me tell you guys about my ghost experience.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So I only have a couple that are personal, but I wanted to steal someone else's story that they were told to me as a child, and I want to tell you about that. So the first two that happened to me, one was when I was a kid. I was sitting in my bedroom. I had like a little like recliner, lazy boy kind of chair. Didn't put your legs up, whatever, but it was cheap. We got it at a garage sale. Anyway, I was sitting there. I had a glass of water that had been sitting on my dresser next to me for like 3 or 4 days. I was irresponsible, didn't take it to the kitchen. It was sitting next to me, so it wasn't like due to that kind of anything like ice, perspiration, whatever. But it scooted across my dresser.
You saw it?
I saw it scoot across my dresser. It had like it was like at least half full of water. There's no perspiration because it was already room temperature. Scooted across my old dresser. My old dresser was like needed repainting because like, the painting was like falling off on top of it because I put so many other cups on top of there that it wouldn't have been a smooth transition. I did live next to a railroad track though. However, there was no train going by at the time. So
Dinosaurs.
something had caused only thing in my room moving was my cup.
It's a dinosaurs. It's
Dinosaurs.
like when you saw in Jurassic Park where you saw the glass move.
that's right.
That's the only other logical explanation.
There were dinosaurs outside. I forgot to tell you about that.
Those fucking dinosaurs.
But that scared me so much that I went to do the rest of my homework in the living room, and I never told my parents why. But that was the only thing I ever felt in my house, besides my basement being scary AF, running up the stairs, behind me. I was always afraid there's someone staring at me or like coming to chase me down.
I just want to share just a really, really quick thing. So I know you grew up in like Nebraska, but went to college in Kansas City. I had a lot of friends, military friends, who grew up in Fort Leavenworth. Yeah. And they told me the crazy amount of ghost stories that are just in Fort Leavenworth in and of itself.
Really?
A lot of like 1890s whatever housing, and that my friend Kim and her brother lived in the attic, which was like kind of the servants' court, like whatever it is, and they would see figures in the windows, and the amount of shit that went on just because it was Fort Leavenworth, and the amount of history that just went down there.
Oh, so creepy.
Which is kind of incredible.
There are tons of bloody Civil War battles that happened on the Missouri-Kansas line.
I mean, yeah, when I went there, it's just like you could tell just as soon as you enter the fort, you're like, this is
scary.
Incredible. Not just scary, but just what a sight to be on, and what has happened here in these like houses that everybody's fighting for. Because it's by rank. So if you're lieutenant colonel versus a major or captain, like you get certain houses. Yeah. And as gorgeous as these houses were, this shit's been through some madness.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Which is just kind of, I don't know. So and again, I'm not a huge believer in spirits and ghosts, but I love ghost stories. And so her telling me about she would peer across to look at her brother's room, which had that kind of opaque glass window door, and she'd see a figure, and her brother wasn't even home.
Like a frosted glass kind of thing? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Shit like that. And he was like, okay.
My best friend growing up would always she would come over and stay the night at my house, I had some sleepover. She's like, oh, but my house is haunted. So the first time she told me that, I was already over there for a sleepover. And she goes, around 11 o'clock at night, we have to go to my sister's room because my room gets haunted at around 2 or 3 in the morning. And I was like, can we just start in your sister's room and never just
why
stay
do we even
here?
have to have this?
Oh my god, why would she tell me that? So the whole night I was there, the first time I visited her, I would never fall asleep. I just sat there and stared at the ceiling or at the door or any other place that anybody could ever appear in the room.
Don't even stay there.
Scared AF the whole time I was there. But let me tell you about my only other experience with what I think I've seen. So when I was in undergraduate school, I was doing my internship in the summer. I had maybe 3 hours of sleep a night. No. Not enough to sustain a person. So I think this is the reason why I saw what I saw. But I was writing my article for my internship for that week. I had to write little articles. And I was down in the basement of one of these people's house that I was staying in. I was typing on my computer. My eyes closed. I fell asleep, Opened them up immediately all of a sudden. And there's a man standing over me. In all dark clothing. Just standing there staring at me. And it scared me so much.
Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
But I feel like that's what it could be.
I've had that often.
You do?
And I think that's what it could have been.
Oh, that's scary AF too.
Yeah, sleep paralysis sucks, but I think that's an explanation for somebody staring over you and you can't wake yourself out of it.
That I was halfway in a dream and I still thought I saw it. But let me tell you a borrowed story that I always gives me the chills talking about it. Let me see what it does to you guys. I may not be a good storyteller because I may be a little tipsy from our shots.
Pickle-backs.
I'm feeling it.
This is my last story for this episode, but I want to tell it to you. Okay. There's this older lady that I always looked up to when I was a child. She was older when I was young. She's still alive, and she's still
old.
She's really old.
She's real fucking old. She's 150 years old.
Yeah,
now.
She's 150 years old. Her name's Nita Ray. No. And Nita Ray was a sweet lady.
Can we take a pause and recognize that that's an amazing name?
That is a really
Nita Ray. Is she a jazz singer?
Nita Ray Jepsen.
Yeah.
I don't look her
up.
But she was this. So think of she was very loving of a person, but think of a school marm kind of mentality, very strict, very to the point. The kind of person that you would never expect to tell a tall tale or a story or a lie, right? Everything Nita Ray ever said, I always respected. I always trusted. She's traveled the world. She's seen things. But Nita Ray one time came into church one Sunday as a kid, and she told us, it was after we had a heavy snowstorm. She goes, let me tell you guys about what happened to me. So we were like, okay, tell it, Nita Ray. Nita Ray told us that during last Sunday at church, she lived in the country, so she had a farm. She was driving back out to her farm, and a blizzard hit. So it came on so strong that she couldn't see where she was driving on the highway to get home. Had to just pull over and hope for that nobody ran into her in her car, right? But all of a sudden, someone came and tapped on her window.
Oh my!
And so she was like, yes, and he goes, do you want me to guide you home? And she's at this point probably 2 miles away from home, and she's like, She'd never seen this person in her life, right? Never seen this person before. And this person goes, do you want me to guide you home? I can get you home. And she goes, okay. He's like, I'll walk in front of the car. Just follow me. So she didn't know what else to do. So she just like, okay, I'll follow him. And he was taking her in the generally correct direction. So at this point, though, she knew she was getting home because she could kind of see the shape of the house in the background. He delivered her, or got her home. She got out of the car to take her to say thank you. But all of a sudden, when she got out of the car, he was gone. Nowhere to be seen. And the blizzard at that point was not bad enough to like not to hide him. He just disappeared.
Dude, I am a total believer. I'm a believer in it. I believe in spirits. Deal with it.
Yeah.
You know?
So anyway, that's my last story for you guys. Do you guys have any more ghost stories to tell? Or are you guys ready to wrap it up for the Halloween episode?
You know, Nita Ray, I believe you, girl.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
She was so believable, though, that I didn't know what else to say. I just had chills go through my body as a kid when I heard this. I didn't know what to think. So who was this person?
I'm standing by it. I believe in spirits. I do.
I want to be proven wrong.
Me too. But I don't want to just have them come and visit me.
Dude,
I don't want to just become a medium. I don't want to be like the Jennifer Love Hewitt in that horse fucking whisper.
Or is
show.
it Kesha who had sex with a ghost?
What?
Oh, incubus or succubus? When
She's
you're
a
a guy,
succubus?
it's
Incubus.
incubus. When it's a girl, it's succubus.
For people who steal other people's energy?
No, for people who have sex with ghosts.
The ghost is called a
is-
succubus or incubus. They seek out humans to have sex with.
Weird.
It's the only kind of action I can get these
Would
days.
you want to have sex with a ghost?
Sure.
I mean, if it feels good.
I guess. And on that note, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, you guys.
May your Halloween be full of incubus and succubus.
Come onto our Instagram page and tell us about your favorite Halloween costumes or any of your ghost experiences. We may,
Yes.
if we get enough stories or we get enough interest in this, we may record a mini episode following this to
Halloween is my
share.
favorite thing in the world. I will share everybody's ghost stories.
Yes.
Please also send us pictures. I would love to see your best costumes, and we'll likely post it up unless it's a dick pic or a vag pic. You heard.
Unless it's a tasteful badge pick.
What if it's a dressed up vag pic?
On that note, thank you guys for
Jazzled.
listening. Please consider giving us a 5-star review on iTunes/podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and check out our Instagram as well. We love you all personally with
We'll
our
haunt
hearts.
your dreams.
Love is a very strong word.
Ashley,
We like all of
Ashley
you.
doesn't love you, but Stephanie and I love you.
I'm in
Okay,
I'm in
Stephanie
Loke. I'm in Loke. You know, like and love. It's a little
I
bit of
love
Loke.
you all for listening.
I'm indifferent to your appearance around me.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We will see you guys back next week for episode 12, the post-Halloween episode, and we look forward to talking to all of you again soon. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Scooby-Doo.